Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Troll.
(1973 to 1976). Welcome back, baseball fans. The 1973-76 World Series Game 2. Before we begin, we'll show you the box score of Game 1. Game 1, Don Sutton, a complete game loss, unfortunately. 8 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs allowed, 3 walks, and 6 Ks. Cott was brilliant through 8. 3 hits, 3 singles, a run, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Gossage completed the save, struggled a little bit. 3 singles, 1 because you're holding the tie run at first base and they get a hit through the infield. That's going to happen, but you had a 2-run lead, so you could afford the 1 run, not the 2 runs. He preserved it with 2 strikeouts. Gets the save. Good baseball game. Both sides, pitching affair. Let's get started in a Game 2. There's been a day off, so with a day off in between there, the White Sox can get their guy, Bart Johnson, in there. But first, let's take a look at Andy Messersmith, his brilliant 75 card, 19-14, 2.29 ERA, 322 innings, has been dominant down the stretch versus the Mets and the Braves. He also was the guy who won the one of the 6 games versus Arizona. He stopped the bleeding in that series. That's something I just recalled. And Bart Johnson, 10-game winner in 74 and 122 innings, but he's been promoted. He started the year as a number 3 starter. He has been the number 1 starter in the championship series. He gets the Game 2 start today. Battle of righties. Messersmith, Bart Johnson in Game 2. Can the Dodgers even the series? We'll get started. Leading off, it's Jim Wynn. 66 is a pop to second base. Bill Buckner, 68, flies to center. And Willie Crawford, 4-4 off of Bart Johnson. Homer 1-11 fly ball. And it's the Bart Johnson year. He catches the out here. So that's a big break. He's gotten a lot this year. He's pitched very well. Could have been a long ball. It's a fly ball. And it's 3 up and 3 down. By the way, the Dodgers versus Johnson, they treat him a lot like Atlanta's pitcher Buzz Capra. As a guy, a flamethrower who dominates righties, struggles a little bit versus lefties. So they put righties Lopes, Say, and Yeager on the bench. Traditional Dodger players. Most likely will come in mid-game or late game for defense, you would think. But they're trying to load up against Bart Johnson. It didn't work out as the ball was a flyout. Bottom of the first. White Sox go the same lineup against Sutton for Messersmith. But Messersmith, again, is tougher than Sutton recently. George Orta, 69, flies to center. Bob Stinson, 55, short X. Russell, 2E29 at short, makes the play. Interesting note here also, they had an option with Frank Baker. He could play second, third, or short. So you're going to bench one of those guys. They elected to bench Say at third because they preferred to keep the defense of Russell as a 2 at short. And that was the choice. Dick Allen. 1-5. Dick Allen will take a look at the card. 1973, 16 home runs in half a season before an injury. 1-5 is gone, and the White Sox have a 1-0 lead. Bill Melton, 3-11, pops to third. White Sox started Game 1 with a run in the first inning. They did individual runs early against Sutton. Trying to do the same thing, you would think. Top of the second, Steve Garvey, 55. He grounds the second. Willie Davis, 3-5 is triple, 1-14. It's a 3-base hit. Horace Clark, they're going to bring the infield up. 4-12, sac fly to center. We got a tie game. Bill Russell, 55, ground ball to second. bottom of the second inning. Ken Henderson, 56, is a K. Lamar Johnson, 2-9, flies to center. And Buddy Bradford, 2-10, hit by the pitch. Talkin, Tony Muser, 47, off the Messersmith card, single 1-2. It's a line out. We go to the third. Biff Pokeroba getting the start over Yeager today. 1-4, comebacker to the mound. And here is Frank Baker. He's playing third base presently. 33, pops to second. No problem for Bart Johnson and those lefties. Jim Wynn, 3-7, triple 1-2 base hit. It's a base hit. Do you attempt a steal here down 0-1 in the series against a plus arm catcher? They're going to do it. He's going to be safe on a 10 barely. You got a plus 1 arm catcher. So he is safe stealing second base. Runner in scoring position for the lefties Buckner and Crawford. Bill Buckner, 2-7, ground ball to third, B+. So, yeah, it's a plus, but he already stole the base. Should have left him at first. Potentially could have gotten a single if you had that dice roll then. The inning's over, bottom of the third. Bucky Dent, 59, grounds a second. George Orta, 46, base hit. Bob Stinson, 45, base hit to left field. Orta, 16 runner. You want to go coast to coast against a plus 2 arm? Of course you do. Here's the throw to third. He's safe. So you have runners on the corners. With Dick Allen, do you play up or back in this situation? Down 1-0 in the series. Funny part about it is we know Allen can strike out. He hits into double plays. Not a lot of incentive to bring it up on a ground ball B situation. So they are going to play back with runners on the corners in a 1-1 game. Here's the pitch. 1-4 lefty question mark. They're going to tag up Orta. Well, if he can go to first to third off the left fielder, should be able to tag up off the left fielder. It's 16, 17, 18, 19. It's 1-20. It's a sac fly. 2-0. 2 outs. Bill Melton. 3-9, single 1-11. He catches that one. 2 on, 2 outs for Ken Henderson. 3-6 is a walk. Big moment here. In a 2-0 game with the bases loaded. A real shaky looking Andy Messersmith out there. And it's Lamar Johnson. Let's take a look at the card before he swings. Big addition in the offseason. They would lose Carlos May, a 308 hitter in 72. They replaced him with a right-handed hitter, Lamar Johnson, hitting .320 in 1976. Would be the highest batting average with the Chi Sox through the early 1980s. Think through 81. Here's the pitch to Lamar Johnson. 3-10. It's a single chance. Single 1-11, and he cannot catch it on a 20. My goodness. That means with a single chance on 10, he's hitting over 333 versus righties. Probably a 340, 350 card, somewhere in there. Unfortunately, it's a line out for the Chi Sox. They leave them loaded. It's 2-1. Tight series. Top of the fourth, Willie Crawford. 2-6 is a base hit. B stealer. Plus 1 arm catcher again. Garvey hits in a lot of double plays. They got a big break by leaving them loaded. Dodgers want to be a little aggressive here. They're going to try a stolen base. And he's out stealing on a 16. So down a run, they attempt to steal anyway with a B. Little aggressive. Instead of letting things happen, they fear a Steve Garvey double play in that situation, and he's caught stealing. So now Garvey's up with nobody on the bases. 47's a strikeout on the Bart Johnson card, and Willie Davis. 1-9. Let's take a look at the Willie Davis card of 73. Plenty of extra base hits and a 285 average. 16 homers, 29 doubles, and 9 triples. Homer 1 of 5, double the rest. It's a 2-base hit. That could have tied the game. It's just a runner at second with 2 outs for Horace Clarke. 6-10 off Johnson is short X, and Bucky Dent, the defensive shortstop, E16, makes the play, the fixer, the great defensive shortstop to fix things for you, and the inning's over. Still 2-1 White Sox, bottom of the fourth. Buddy Bradford, 63, short X. Russell's at 2E29. It's a base hit for the road shortstop. Tough break there for the Dodgers. Talking Tony Muser. Misses his column, 212 pops out. Bucky Dent, 312 pops out. And back up top to George Orta. His speed gave the Chi Sox the lead in the third. 52 flies to left. Good baseball game again. We go to the fifth. It's Bill Russell, 46. Single one of 12 off the Johnson card. Base hit. Another B stealer. Now, here's the case, though. You ran Crawford in the previous inning with the righty coming up. But you got lefties and lefties. You got to let them take their hacks against Bart Johnson. That's why they're here. Biff Pocoroba. 310 flies to right. Now you got Frank Baker. 49 off of Bart Johnson is a walk. That's an out versus a righty, so that paid off. 2 on, 1 out. Top of the lineup, the Toy Cannon Jim Wynn. 111 is a 6-4-3 double play on the Jim Wynn card. Tough break for the Dodgers. Chi Sox hold on to a 2-1 lead. Bottom of the fifth. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
We got a fun baseball game, folks. 2-1. A lot of moves, a lot of strategy. Bottom of the fifth. It'll be Bob Stinson. 111, ground ball to short plus an injury. Well, that would hurt most teams, but they like both catchers. Brian Downing will finish the game. That's why your catchers, of course, get injured twice as often as other position players, so it's important to have a backup available, a good one. Neither I would call backups. Catcher A and catcher B, really. They're both good. Now it's Dick Allen. 2-9 is a strikeout, and with 2 outs, it's Bill Melton. 2-9, grounds to third. A nice rebound for Messersmith. It's a 2-1 game. We go to the sixth. And now here's those Dodger lefties. Bill Buckner. 110's a base hit. He's an ace stealer. He's going to let Crawford swing away. 67 is a strikeout. Now you have that same situation you had before with Garvey not wanting to hit no double play. However, I'm more likely to steal a base with no outs or 2 outs than I am with 1. So Garvey's going to swing away. Maybe he'll catch a plus or a home run. 1-5, he does not. Let's take a look at the Garvey card. It does not work. It is the double play. Like I said, this is a problem with Steve. When he's not hitting for the high batting average, he does have a double play problem. In 1974, that is a 6-4-3 double play to end the threat. And it stays 2-1. Got a lot of breaks for Bart Johnson in this one. Bottom of the sixth. Ken Henderson. 212 grounds to first. Lamar Johnson, 69, flies to center. And Buddy Bradford. 211 is a grounder to third. We go to the top of the seventh with Bart Johnson in his point of weakness inning coming up. Now, one commentary here. We have seen this a lot early with Johnson, where the White Sox, in the beginning of the year, they were like, let's just get our guy out of there, protect him. And often it blew up as Forster or somebody would come in out of the bullpen and blow the lead. Then they said, let's just lean on the guy as he gets out of his difficulties and let him pitch deep into games. Bart Johnson threw a complete game in the Divisional Series and League Championship Series. 2 complete games on the resume. A more difficult opponent. He will continue into his breaking inning, and he might even be left in responsible for potential loss if a couple guys reach. But he doesn't fear Horace Clarke, Pocoroba, or Frank Baker, these guys at the bottom of the Dodger lineup. So Willie Davis will lead off in the seventh. 42 is a fly ball to center. Now you got Horace Clarke. 57 is a strikeout, and with 2 outs, it's Bill Russell. 56 is a fly ball to left field. Bart Johnson gets through 7 again. What a postseason run this has been. Atypical of IRL baseball during the time frame, as the outlier White Sox are making a statement here in the World Series. Again, we didn't think this team had many weaknesses at all. Complete roster. playing smart baseball for the last couple months, and it is looking great right now. The 2-1 lead, bottom of the 7th inning, 7th inning stretch in Chicago. Today, we are continuing with Curtis Mayfield, and we have Superfly on. 1972, this is the deluxe edition with extra tracks. Freddy's Dead, Pusher Man, Give Me Your Love, all of that. There's extra commentary by Curtis Mayfield on this one. Extra tracks that weren't in the movie, a radio spot, instrumentals, 23 songs, hour and a half. Wonderful stuff. Superfly, 1972. Back to the game, bottom of the 7th, Messersmith. He isn't going anywhere. It'll be Tony Muser leading off. 410, center X. Center field, Davis, 1E6 in center. Makes the play. If you were talking about low-scoring pitchers duels in a World Series, I probably would have given the Dodgers the advantage, as I would fear the White Sox better offense. They want to get into like 6-5, 7-6 games. But Jim Cott and Bart Johnson have delivered great pitching performances on their own. Bucky Dent, 3-6. Bucky, triple 1 and 2 is a base hit. A 12 runner at first. Back up top for George Orta. 210 Orta flies to right, and with 2 outs, it's Bob Stinson. 58 is a strikeout. As they did in Game 1, they're going to bring in some reinforcements to the defense. Brian Downing will take over behind the plate as a -1 arm catcher. Glenn Beckert will improve where Orta was at second to a 3 at second base. And Bob Coluccio, he will take over in left field where Lamar Johnson roamed. Again, very similar to Game 1 as Game 2. That was a 3-2 affair. This one's a 2-1 affair into the 8th. Bart Johnson, 8th inning. Again, you got Pocoroba and Baker. Do you really fear these guys? Probably not. I know they bat from the left side, but frankly, you may as well have kept Lopes and Say and Yeager, traditional Dodgers, on the field. Maybe if they get a second chance, in the series, they would do it that way. But for right now, Dodgers need some hits. Need to even this thing up if they can. It's Biff Pocoroba. 2-5, pops the second. Here is Frank Baker. Do you even let him bat? At this point of the game, you got to consider a chance of a solo homer by Yeager or Russell versus Frank Baker just getting on the Bart Johnson card. I'm really looking at this. I'm of the opinion you already committed to this strategy, and it's early in the series. Let's just see how the strategy for the Dodgers plays out. Baker will swing away as a lefty. 67 off the Johnson card, but it's a strikeout. And now back up top, it's Jim Wynn. 49, Short X. Again, championship shortstop, Bucky Dent, with his Yankee World Series rings in the future, makes the play. Bottom of the 8th, it's still 2-1. Messersmith will continue. It's Dick Allen. Started the scoring today. 32 flies left. Bill Melton, 36, is a walk. Ken Henderson, 37 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Coluccio in for Lamar Johnson. 1-8, that would have been a single for Lamar. For Coluccio, he grounds to short. So it could have been a rally in the 8th. The lesser hitter cannot contribute. And we'll go to the 9th, 2-1. Recency bias. Johnson's a long man. He has thrown complete games in the divisional round, in the league championship series, and now trying to take hold of the World Series by winning 2 games in their own park, meaning they cannot be eliminated in LA, possibly can win the World Series in Los Angeles. All on the line here. And it's lefty, lefty, righty, lefty. In the 9th, decision time for the Dodgers. Buckner and Crawford you do fear. You employ Forster for a reason. You know Buckner's not going to leave the game. Crawford may. You know you still did not pull the trigger on Lopes and Yeager at the bottom of the previous inning. Those threats still linger should you go Forster. But you could go Forster for just one batter if those threats come in. So with that, they're going to convert with the bullpen again. They did it in game 1 with Cott. They pulled Cott after 8, pitching brilliantly. They're going to go with the same formula with Bart Johnson. Again, the White Sox have lived and died with the entire roster. Starting lineup, bench players, defensive players, starting and relief pitching. They're going to do the same thing. Today, they're going to go a lefty, backing up the righty starter. Game 1, it was the righty Gossage versus the lefty Cott. Today, it's Terry Forster will come on in the 9th inning. Terry Forster in 74, 7-8 with a 3.63 ERA and 134 innings. He'll face at least Buckner. Gotta figure the Dodgers will not pull Buckner. They could. You still have Crawford doesn't hit lefties very well. And you do have 3 righties on the bench. Do they dare pull Bill Buckner in this situation? That would be a wild move. You're taking a 300 hitter out of a World Series game just because Terry Forster walks out there. Again, the Dodgers are the team on the ropes here. They lost game 1. They need a road win. They're going to do it. They're going to pull Buckner and probably Crawford too to get Gossage in the game, you would think. And they're going to go Davey Lopes right here. So Davey Lopes will be the pinch hitter. Let's take a look at the Davey Lopes card. Real interesting card for Lopes in 73. Full season, 600 plate appearances, 275 average. But look at the top line. Yeah, he's the second baseman. But he can play third base, shortstop, and the outfield. Theoretically, he could even play left field where Buckner was playing. Though, most likely he'll move to second base in the bottom of the 9th if there is a bottom of the 9th. So Davey Lopes is the pinch hitter versus Terry Forster. Here in the 9th as the tables turn a little bit. With the Dodgers with the hitting advantage. Here's the pitch to Davey Lopes. 212 is a strikeout. And that is 1 out. Now you got Willie Crawford against Forster. And if you did it there, you got to do it again. So Crawford will exit. And they're going to go for the... They realize that Yeager and Say have homer chances. Oddly enough, Yeager's is just 5% better in one roll, but... We'll go with the better base runner, I guess. Yeah, Say. So Say will be the pinch hitter for Willie Crawford. Now now with Garvey on deck, now you pull Forster. And you go Gossage to see if you can get the final 2 outs in the 9th. So let's take a look at Ron Say with 1 out. The second pinch hitter off the bench. 75, 25 homers, and a 283 average. Plenty of power. Oddly enough, he hits less homers versus lefties. But the White Sox are the White Sox, and Gossage can be used much like Marshall whenever you want him. He's a relief 4. Hardly needs rest, so Gossage is looking for his second save. Trying to get one not as sloppy as the save he got in game 1. Gossage will come on in the 9th and face the second pinch hitter, Ron Say. Here's the pitch. 2-6, and Ron Say gets a single chance. It's a single 1-12. He cannot convert on an 18. Another break for the Chi Sox. They have gotten a lot of breaks in the 20-sided dice in the 2 games. And with 2 outs in the 9th, it's your 1974 MVP, Steve Garvey. He's been a critical part of the strategy. You get a guy caught stealing in the 4th, then you don't attempt to steal, and Garvey gets into a double play. So Garvey needs to come through here for his Dodgers. He's over today. Here's the pitch to Steve Garvey. 38 for Garvey is a single. He reaches. He's a 13 runner. And that brings up Willie Davis. So in the final move of the strategy, the Dodgers do have the leverage. There's nobody to bring in out of the Chi Sox bullpen to face the dangerous Willie Davis. We saw the card earlier. Willie Davis, he's got plenty of homers and doubles and triples on his card. Have to think Garvey would score from first or run from first for an extra base hit. Willie Davis versus Rich Gossage, potentially for a 2-0 series lead for the hometown Chi Sox. Here is the pitch to Willie Davis. 63 off Gossage. It's pitcher X. Can Gossage field? The answer, not really. He's bad defensively on the mound. He's an E30. This practically should be an error. A pitcher, a 2. Got to plug the E rating in, 30. And the result? It's a GBC! A huge break to win the game! You didn't even roll the E rating, a GBC. One of the 6 chances that are not E rating. So it was a 30% chance of avoiding the E rating, and they converted that with a GBC by Gossage. He knocked the ball down, tossed it over to first, and beat Willie Davis by a step. And that's the end of game 2. Another thriller. Lots of strategy late in this one. What a game. The White Sox win 2-1. Dodgers, heartbreaking losses in games 1 and 2. Have to regroup. Back home in LA. Hopefully they get some home cooking and can even this series up. But what a great series we have. The White Sox are up 2-0. We'll give you the box score from this game when we play game 3. So we'll see you soon.